Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. How's it going, y'all? I'm back. I'm back after a few days off here. My audio seemed kind of quiet. It looks quiet, but we're just gonna go. Oh, don't need these. I was enjoying that last song. I was actually listening to it. Yeah, I changed some of my audio settings and it seems quieter than it used to be, but as long as it sounds good, who cares? Who cares? How's everyone doing on this fine Wednesday? I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I picked some art stuff that I think we're going to work on today instead of some code. There's some code stuff I was working on over the weekend. Like I cleaned up the project file a lot. Rhiannon Journey, how's it going? I saw you hopping in the Discord. Thank you. Thank you for joining us over there. How are you doing? Yeah, I don't know how much coding we're going to do today. I cleaned up the project files a lot, which is good. I got rid of a lot of the stuff we aren't using anymore, which felt nice. I started working on a system where we can adjust this buildable area outline based on what actually is being used. I started working on that is the emphasis I would put there. But there's a lot of other things we're going to need to do to actually get that working. But the end goal of that is going to be having constructions rotate around themselves rather than rotating around this big area. So like if you build in this corner and then you rotate it, instead of it rotating to that corner, like one of the opposite corners, it just rotates amongst itself. So kind of swapping that out as a goal for this week, because we're going to actually need that for saving, so that we don't save this whole buildable area. We just save the area that's actually going to be used by whatever we're constructing. There's some tricks to that, so I don't really want to work on that right now. What I do want to work on right now is kind of just some stuff with the doors, I think. There's more stuff we need to do with the doors. I'm kind of tired. So I think that's the recipe of what to work on today. Rhiannon, it's a snow day there, unfortunately. You work from home, so you're working. Otherwise, you're doing pretty good. Yeah, it's a shame. You don't get to enjoy the snow day part of that. So our doors are here. We have the double door, the single door. So we need to do the flipped versions of these doors. We also, in addition to the flipped versions of these doors, these two doors, we also need to do the triple door. I don't want to do the triple door first. I think that'd be kind of fun. So let me go find that. I hope I still have that in the file somewhere. I actually might not anymore. I might have been a little overzealous in cleaning these files up, but I think I still have it. Door, triple, yeah, here we go. So we're going to do another version of this, I think, this door. This is a fun one. I think I'm pleased with this door. How big does this need to be? So 56, but it needs another 56 by 38, but it needs another 8 here. So 64 by 38 is, I think, what it needs. Oh, no. It also needs another 2 up here. So 64 by 40. I think the size of this door. I know we picked some new palettes to try out last week, Friday. I do want to do some of that stuff too, but probably not today. But I think that might be a fun Saturday stream this week, would be to maybe do some recolors with our new palettes. We're going to save as. Go find the right spot here. It's going to be, for now, it's going to be here. This is temporarily where we're storing this. Oh, why did I save it as sprite0001.ace? I'm an idiot. Name that file. Gonna be door triple combo. So we're gonna reopen that in here. There we go. Swap our palette here. We're gonna make some layers. What are we using for the background layer? One of these blues here. That's a nice background color. This is gonna be door frame. Gonna be the same as every other door frame, so we might as well just copy the whole thing. Up in the corner there, that's the back door frame. So where the kind of door disappears into the wall. I missed yesterday's stream because my partner's sick. She's still sick, so apologies for any background noise. It's it's the season of sickness, so we'll see. We'll see if I survive the week or if I actually also fall ill. Kind of just the season where that stuff happens, isn't it? So let's do regular outer upper and regular outer lower. Is that correct? No, that's the wrong order. Oh, no, that's the correct order. So we're going to start by grabbing this. We're going to start with what we already got here. From that. Start with this. And then we'll kind of winnow it a little bit here. Trim off that. Trim off that. And some of this stuff. Actually is maybe exactly what we want. Oh, not this. Or that. There's a missing part here. Is it this? Yeah. All right, so we're going to grab this. This is what we're going to start with. We're also going to need the top part. Up to about here. Oops. Up to about here. I think is about right. Hold on, we got someone to ban in the chat here. Goodbye. Been nice knowing you. All right, so this is the top of the door. We're going to copy this part over as well. Except it's going to be over here. Is that right? That's approximately right. I love the sound effects. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I grabbed a few Star Trek sound effects for events like that amuse me. I need to get some more. I have a very limited set, but yeah, having like communicator badges for like follows and you know, transporter sounds for subscriptions and photon torpedoes for bands. All of that was all very fun. Very fun for me to set up. Is this fine? Seems fine for now. So the first thing we got to do is draw, you know, the rest of the owl here. Got to draw this part of the door, the closed part of the door. It's kind of like this structure here. Oops. Yeah, just this. I think that's right. Oop. See if that's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So that's that. And then here we do the same here. What does the interior look like? Okay, it's like this. Interesting. I kind of understand why it's like this. We're doing like that. Yeah, that seems fine. I don't totally agree with the way it's structured here, but it's what we did before, and I trust that last time I did it, I thought it through pretty clearly, and this is what we ended up with. I'm gonna check my sound for a second here because it just looks a little weird for me. So if I turn this off, if I turn this stuff happening here off, what does that do to my volume? It doesn't. Oh, it bumps it up a little bit. Okay, so I maybe need to look at maybe my compressor. Is it the compressor? Or is it the EQ? What is causing my volume? Oh, maybe it's the EQ. That doesn't make sense. Oh well. I'm gonna look at that later. I'll just check the VODs. Sound mixing is one of those things that's never done. It's just abandoned, right? All right, so we're going to take this. We're going to drop that in there. And that's the upper section of the triple door as it currently stands. Then we're going to take and go back here. Grab the lower section of the door. Same thing. Swap over to the other layer so we don't accidentally mess that up, which is the thing I always mess up. This is easier because we're just going to take like basically everything. I'm just going to take this and we'll trim it down. Oh, look at me. I did a good job when I did this the first time. I mean, I didn't do a great job because we're redoing it, but did okay. There. We also want this. All right, so this needs to go like here. And then we need to expand it. So let's turn this one off. So that goes away. This becomes like this. One, two, three. Is this right? This is wrong. But what is it particularly that's making it wrong? Oh, I just need to, I went too far here. So it's like this, 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 and then this. There we go. Okay, that's the lower door. Turn them both on. We got this. That looks approximately correct. All right, so this is our full tile. Our full tile door here. Hey, still needs work. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. All right, time to start throwing frames in here. New frame. But we're on the wrong. Yeah, I guess we could do this one first. I am good, thanks. I'm a little tired, so we are working on some art stuff as an alternative to, doing anything more complicated. First few frames here are always a little tricky. So we kind of get going. There's one. One second, be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm good. Still needs work. I think I answered that already. We're lazy. This is a lazy Wednesday. I have a bunch of programming stuff I need to do. We've ironed down the remaining features that we need in the tile editor to like a pretty limited set, but the amount of work that's going to go into that limited set is still significant. Still pretty significant. We need save load, undo redo, select move. So like you can select a section and then move it. And then we just need more variety. which variety, whatever, we can add that over time. But there's a couple of things I need to figure out with that. With like our advanced tile set. I don't have any of it in the recent files list. But yeah, we need to figure out how to handle tile blocks that don't fully enclose a space. So they're not useful. What's really rough is we need to deal with tile blocks that like partly enclose a space. So we're only a month away from GDC. So I've essentially given up on the idea of having any aspect of the game meaningfully like done by then. So I'm just all in on the tile map editor. So like if I have anything to show anyone at GDC, it'll be like, look at this awesome custom auto tiler thing that we're going to use to make this game. Figure it's better to do that than to like hack together some shitty thing. All right. So now we need to move this whole thing over. Yeah, it's amazing how quick you'll be like, "Oh, it's a month. We could do a lot in a month." But I know enough now to know that that's not true. We cannot do a lot in a month. So we might as well focus on what we can do. Kind of shocking how little like you can do in a month sometimes. Hope all your stuff is going well, your academic stuff and otherwise. I feel like I realized a little shortcut last time we were doing this, but I like don't remember what it was, so we're gonna have to wait and see if we can discover it again. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's frame 1. I'm concerned about how I'm gonna cut this up into 3 pieces. That's also something we're gonna need to do. But we can work on that once we've done it like this. We could have lower, upper, and then like a mid section. You're working on it? Yeah. Ain't that just the way? All right, new frame. This one is going to be 27 frames. So we're going to be doing this for a while. But honestly, people seem to enjoy when I'm doing art in the background more than when I'm like coding in the background. So I don't know. It works for me. Hide the background here. Yeah, I can middle mouse. I'm always like zooming out and then back in. And I realize that oftentimes I can just middle mouse move. I don't know why Some system broke me. Probably Unity. Now I'm just forever stuck with this zoom out, zoom in. I know we've talked about it before, and there's actually a surprising number of people who have the same issue as me. Man, what was the little productivity hack that I figured out last time? Oh, it was the using the shader brush when we actually get to that point. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. All right, loop. Get rid of that. This part, I needed to move this part. I did not move that part. That was an issue. All right, upper side. All right, over by 1. Gonna be this one actually. There we go. Doop, doop, doop. Honestly, there's probably a faster way we could do this, where we just copy this whole thing over and then extend the sides each frame. That's probably what I should be doing. Could I do that with just copy pasting, like copy pasting the internal part? I just go, I move it by 1, copy that thing over, then draw the sides here. Probably how I should have approached this. Let's try that for a frame, and if we like it, we'll start doing it that way. So that would mean basically going here, grabbing this thing, go to frame. What did I even do? I clicked that, whatever that is. Go there, grab this. Basically, we're saying we would want to make a new empty frame. Copy this. What? Copy this in. What has happened here? Oh. This. There we go. Do this. Shift it over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we would just be extending. Kind of weird that the background doesn't carry over. I don't know if I love this approach to doing it. I don't think it's actually going to be a lot easier, but maybe it is. Then I just need to copy this part. And then fix this. How is it that wrong? Oh, how is it this? What is, oh. I don't know what I did, but I really messed it up. Yeah, I don't want to do it this way. I see how that maybe if I had started out doing it that way, I could have done this other workflow, but I'm just going to keep doing this. I understand this one. A little slow, but that's kind of what we're trying to do today. We're kind of trying to just work it out. Not aiming for peak efficiency today. What's everyone been playing? I downloaded Avowed this morning. I think I'm gonna play it. It's on Game Pass. I got Game Pass, so why not, right? I haven't played a big RPG in a while. Lost Judgment? Oh, sick. Lost Judgment. I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know that much about it. Oh, nice. This is a couple years old. Ooh, it's a detective. Action adventure game. It's also like a detective story. Sick. What do you get when you take the writings of Japanese soap operas and combine that with RPGs or with RGG's insane fight scenes and a story about the effects of bullying? Oh, you get Lost Judgment. That sounds awesome. Crack skulls to crack the case. I love that tagline. That's pretty good. Pretty good with the story. It's a beat 'em up game. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I like that. Cool. That sounds great. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect from Avowed, except that it's like first person combat, real time. I think I'm down with that. When I built this computer, I tried to play a Baldur's Gate because I'm like pretty big on D&D. But it ended up just being like not what I wanted to do. I like didn't want to manage a whole party. Rhiannon, you've been playing Pacific Drive. Oh, sick. Yeah, I watched my friend play that a little bit and then I stopped because it looked good and I was like, no spoilers. I want to play this eventually. So yeah, I think I might play that too. That looks fun. But yeah, I was just like, I feel like I want an action RPG, not like a turn-based tactics kind of thing. So I just like stopped playing Baldur's Gate. So I probably should have played Dragon Age the Veilguard, but that one was not on Game Pass. Oh, I didn't play it. But I heard that was good. Oh, I spot an error here. Spot an error here. All right, I think that's right. It's been fun. You also weren't able to stick with Baldur's Gate. You installed Morrowind again? Okay. I never played Morrowind. I started with Oblivion. And people always say Morrowind was the best one. But by the time I like was interested, I just never got around to it. Oh, so this is, we're now about to do a over and down. This is actually going to be more complicated. So we need to do over and down. So that means this. These moves are tough. These moves are tough. Over, down. Okay, so not this part. But yes, this part. I think we're just going to do this whole chunk here. How do we handle that here? Maybe here. Okay, we move the whole thing down. But it's not exactly the same circumstance. You think it's the best, but they all hold their charm? True. Sony's work, you normally only get games that are from Steam sales, which is your favorite thing. Yeah. Sometimes you'll get the free games off of Epic if they look good. I have not logged into Epic for like multiple years, but yeah, when that first came out, I was like, oh, look at all these free games. And then I just completely fell off it. And now I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever log into that service again. Okay, yeah, this seems like the right move here. Oh. That. How did I get this wrong? Oh well. Mostly right. You originally got the launcher because you need it for getting Unreal Engine. Ah, that's how they get you. That's definitely how they get you. Yeah, I have not messed around with Unreal Engine since like 2007, maybe. It's good. It's just it wasn't what I was particularly looking for. All right, so which of these are getting ignored? These, so it's this, right? It's like this and like this. These we're skipping. All right, I think this is right. Minus this one, maybe. Oh, no, maybe this one. I don't know. Up, over. Oh, I kind of messed that up somehow. That's fine. So you got to be replaced with this. You got to be replaced with this. Otherwise, I think that's right. Chunk. Why do you go out by 2? Oh, I understand. I understand. All right, now we're back to normal. The up and over moves are always the hardest compared to just the going over by 1. Boop. Yeah, Avowed looks pretty action-packed. It's like first person, real time. Seems very action-oriented. Oh, I see an error. I don't know how I feel about like RPG companions or like I always get torn when it comes to like, do you use swords? Do you use magic? I always want to use both. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? How are you doing this week? Still needs work. You're curious about the DOTS program when it comes to Unity? Yeah, the data-oriented tech stack comes with its own entity component system. That is what got me into entity component system. My last 3 or 4 years in Unity were spent with that, with like early versions of that stuff. It is powerful. It is powerful is what it is. Mainly because of Burst, the Burst compiler and their job system. Those are very powerful tools. You're still wary of Unity. You heard that they laid off the engine team and are restructuring things. They laid off some people in the engine team. They definitely didn't lay off the whole engine team. But yeah, I'm not. I would be wary of that as well because they said they're doubling down on things like AI and whatever. Like, yeah, I would not. I would not be confident about them at the moment. Oh. But yeah, the dots ECS stuff is like, unless you're really trying to do something heavy, like something very simulation focused or very large scale, it's definitely not necessary. There's definitely some cool stuff there, but like you don't need all of it. Or even some of it most of the time. Rhiannon Journey, you haven't used Unity much. What is the difference between the ECS versus composition with nodes with scripts? Well, nodes with scripts is actually very similar to Unity's game object pattern. And the difference is basically entity component system versus entity component. So like component pattern. So like here you can see the component pattern from the gameplay programming patterns book. the main thing that you'll notice about a component pattern is that you have your component. Here we go. You have your component, and your component maybe has some like, private or public variables or stuff. But what it has is it has an update function on the component itself. So this would be like a node with a script attached. This is like the same way that like a mono behavior works in like Unity with like a game object. So the difference between this and an entity component system is that there would not be, for one thing, instead of a class, it should be like a struct. And the other thing is, instead of having this update function here in the component, the update function is somewhere else. It's in a system that iterates over all of the components of a certain type. So you'd have like a physics system that's a class that would iterate over all of the struct physics components on entities. So it's really just a kind of an upside down way of doing all of the updating, which at a certain scale, you definitely pay for this, having like an update function on every single node or whatever. But like I said, for practical reasons, you would never notice an issue with this. Do they go into systems here? I don't think they do. They do that in a separate talk. That's actually that Nathan posted on the Discord about, same guy posted about like entity component systems. So you don't really interact with the system part when you're dealing with Unity or Godot. You're only really dealing with the entity component part normally if you're using game objects or nodes with scripts. It's fine. It's more than fine. It's sufficient in almost every case. I don't think I have an entity component system, and I'm constantly wondering why I bothered to do that, because it's turning out to be more complicated and annoying than I think it's worth. But I think it will be advantageous in the future. It's just causing a lot of annoyances with me right now. It makes me question what I did. But in theory, we're doing a fairly simulation heavy game, so I hope we take advantage of it. I hope it works out for us. Turns out to be a good investment, or we'll have done a lot of very complicated things for no reason. Rhiannon Journey. Yeah, that's what confused you. You were just attaching components, which seemed almost exactly like Node scripts. Half of programming is doing complicated things for no reason. Yeah. So the game object model in Unity is like their classical model. They also have an entity component system. And that's this dots ECS thing we were talking about. That is different. That actually uses like a separate thing. But the thing is, what they've done is they've basically merged the two, is my understanding of it. So like you'll have your entity components to system stuff on the back end, but you're going to have like a game object on the front end that like is backed by an entity on the back end. So like, I don't know. They say it's good. I think it's so that all of their legacy systems continue to work, even if you switch to the ECS. But to me, it kind of ruins a lot of the point of doing it. But to be fair, caveat, I have not touched their ECS in like 2 years or like at least a year and a half. So I might not fully understand their current state of the Unity ECS implementation. But that was, as I understand it, that was the direction they were headed in. But yeah, Juan has talked about it. Has talked about why Godot doesn't do an ECS. And if you think about it from a certain perspective, their node system is composition. It's compositional, and so they feel like, and their servers are kind of the system part of the ECS. So it's like, in a way, they're getting a lot of the benefit of that kind of a system while maintaining the flexibility of having a different kind of component pattern. So yeah, I don't know. That's not a real explanation. Diginanigans, you think the default component model is more approachable for people who don't have a programming background? Oh, for sure. And you like the data-oriented approach of the update for all the things, then update for every... Yeah. I like the system approach too. The nice separation of concerns, in your opinion, makes it easier to trace down bugs in complex systems rather than tracking down how a bunch of events interact with each other. Yeah, for sure. I agree completely, which is partly why I'm doing it that way. You're always fighting the urge to over-engineer. Yeah, Rihanna Journey, aren't we all? Still needs work. You heard from another streamer that Unreal is working on a program similar to Dots, but is in experimental state and not stable to use. That makes sense because, you know, Unity's ECS Dots, I don't even know if it's currently in a stable state. But it's one of those things where you won't notice it unless you have tens of thousands of game objects. Tens of thousands. Like, if you have less than that, you're not going to really notice. From a performance standpoint, you won't really notice a difference. There's still, like Diginanigans was saying, there is still like an architectural benefit that I consider to using systems rather than putting the logic in each individual object. I like the data-oriented approach of separating data and logic. I just like it. So even if it turns out like we didn't need an ECS for this game, I'm still going to prefer thinking about it in those terms, I think. Is my current feeling about it. I think I will still appreciate having done that. I think it'll make a lot of things more doable in the long term. Like, hopefully modding is easier. Expandability of like an extensibility of the systems is easier because you could just like if I didn't imagine a certain entity that has a certain combination of components, someone could just make that combination and the systems will keep working because the systems don't care. They just look for a component and they process that component. So I think there's a lot of advantages to doing a systems approach. That said, our data is really spatial. Pretty much everything we care about, like all the block stuff, is all spatial data. And that is not a good use case for an entity component system. I'm kind of struggling with how to deal with that. There's things you could do where you could map everything to like a hash map or a hash set. Or you can just eat it and do what I'm currently doing, which is like just have an enormous array that's indexed in by a vector, by like a 3D coordinate. So I don't know. That's apropos of nothing. That's just kind of me thinking about how we want to do this stuff in the long run. Still needs work. But is it possible that if the update is in each object, that it could parallel programmed instead of the update being in the system? Just one update type of thing? Would mean there would be a dependency. Yeah, dependency management for that kind of system, if you're talking about multi-threading, is complicated, which is partly why Unity does it for you a lot of the time. Like you tend to have issues of like contending for, it's pretty much just worrying about global state most of the time. So yeah, if the logic, the thing is, a game object, like iterating over one game object is like a not enough work generally, where you would want that on its own thread. You would probably parallelize at a higher level than that. And you would still need to worry about dependency management and synchronization and stuff. But like, yeah, ECS dots does a lot of it for you, and it does it by creating like barriers. So like you'd say the input system needs to run before the physics system, and the physics system needs to run before the rendering system, or something like that. Like that, though, that actually is a terrible example because input physics and rendering can actually probably run completely in parallel with no dependency between them. But like transform, like maybe you have a transform system and you have a physics system, and then you have like a post transform system or something. Like you can think of examples where you need to synchronize the output before you go on to the next system, and that definitely matters. But I don't know how you would do that if you had all of your update functions on just the objects. I'm not enough of a programmer to know how you would get around that. We're actually going to be dealing with some of that ourselves. Right now, are we kind of just like we have some different systems. Our main system is a joke, and we have very unsafe multi-threading happening right now. Basically, all we're doing is we're saying like, if our task completed, run a new task, and the new task is sequentially run the view system if we have view stuff that we need to do, then run the edit system if we have edit stuff that we need to do, then and then if we have tool stuff to do, we run the tool system sequentially, then we independently queue up a parallel task, which is doing the flood fill. And that task is independent of all of the rest of this stuff. So you can like, not everything needs to be dependent. So like the flood fill system is completely independent of everything else. And then we run the tile system last. But the tile system doesn't depend on the flood fill system. It just runs after the tool system. Because the tool system is the thing that's like placing new blocks and stuff like that. And we need that to run sequentially. I don't know. I feel like I'm off on a tangent that has nothing to do with what you were talking about. Particular, like, does this explicit parallel programming then? Yeah, kind of. In that I'm specifying what is dependent. So like a task, if you create it in C#, if you create a task and then you create a child task, which is this task here, this is a child task. So we're basically like task factory.start new, and then within this task, we're telling another task to be created. This is a child class task, and this one is known as a, oh, there's a word. They use their own language for this, but this is like basically independent. It does not depend. It's they have their own word for it. But you could also say, I could also queue up the tool system as a task and say everything after this depends on the outcome of this. And then you would say like task, and then you'd say like continue with tile system or something like that. So yeah, this is very explicit, where I'm being very particular about what's running in parallel, what's running sequentially. Because yeah, you do need to worry about sync points for sure. Because the outcome of some of these tasks are very determinate on following tasks. How does it know to go on to a different thread? It's part of the task. Task is like a wrapper around things. So task is, my understanding of task is that it's like a wrapper around like a thread pool. So when you create a new task, it basically puts it into a scheduler that's tied up with a thread pool. So task is a wrapper around thread is what it is, I think. You could also use thread instead. Thread in system.threading. And so the way you would do that is you would say like you'd create a new thread and then assign work to it. But we're doing something else. I think we're using thread pool, where it creates a bunch of threads in advance and it assigns work to those threads based on like which thread is available. And task is handling a lot of that for you. So we're not explicitly managing that stuff. We actually might do some thread management in Godot soon for unpacking tile map data. We might use a thread pool. I need to research what would happen if we're contending for threads between C# and GDScript. Kind of curious about that because I want to do some thread pooling in GDScript, but we're also already doing some thread pooling in C#. It's probably fine, but I kind of want to understand that contention a little better before I do it, before I start doing it. You just finished your class on parallel computers, so you definitely want to eventually practice it because it is real world usage. Yeah, it is really useful. It is also kind of scary and incredibly prone to error because that's where you run into things like race conditions and stuff like that. And it is why you almost never want to do that totally by yourself, like, or totally like, you kind of want to trust the system to an extent. And so like so task is a wrapper around like thread pool or something like that. Like I would rather just use task because the potential for error is pretty high. And honestly, most of the time you don't really need to go that fine grain into it. Like most of what I'm doing right now is I just spin off a thread, put some work into that thread, and then that's it. I don't go crazy and like assign like many threads and split the work amongst many threads. Usually it's enough if you just put it off on one thread and then like let it complete and then it comes back. Sometimes you want to do the opposite when you need something to be done in a frame and you just split it up among all the threads you have available, like massive parallelization. Sometimes that's necessary, but I would rather just put it all onto a separate thread and like give that thread a few frames, do the work. So I feel like the more threads I'm managing, the harder it gets. But yeah, running everything on the main thread is often unsustainable for sure. So at a certain point, you like have to do it. You have to do some threading. I'm not an expert. Super important caveat here. I am very much not an expert. And like for Unity, there's stuff that like there's a whole job scheduler that basically handles all of this stuff for you. So you tell Unity the work that you want done and it handles like scheduling all that stuff, which is a lot of like how tasks work in C#. A little different. Because yeah, doing all that stuff yourself is like a huge pain. All right, this is another frame where we have to go over and up. So this is going to be a little more complicated to set up here. All right, over and up. Oh, somehow I just I ruined that. This seems wrong. What's happening here? Oh, no. This is sort of right. Except this needs to be like this. Well, hold on a second. Like this? Yeah, okay. Like that. I know more than you, though. You've only what the class taught you. Oh, yeah, for sure. Right now, you're learning about computer architecture. It's a pretty dry subject. Trying not to get distracted. I know very little about that. I wish I knew more about. I wish I had more of a proper computer science education. I am not. I am not a college educated man. What little I know, I've learned from like experience and like reading documentation and listening to other people. I wish I had a little bit more of the fundamentals under my belt. It would be really useful sometimes. Oh, I see an error. There we go. Bloop. All right, any other errors? Any other obvious errors? Looks good so far. Get this one done. Okay, so this time I think I'm gonna copy these over too. Yeah. Not this. And not this. All right, over one, down one. There we go. Gotta correct this. All right, we're third away there. Fine. It gets faster the further along we are here. There's less to move. I could read Stallings' books. Seems to be the main author schools use for this particular subject. Stallings. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that author. Computer science textbook. William Stallings. Yeah, I have some of these books. This kind of textbook thing is something I tend to only crack into if I have a question. Like let me grab one. Like if I have a question about multidimensional and metric data structures, I grab this. But it's also like bigger than a phone book. Like Lord. It's probably old. That's the other thing is these get old and out of date, and I don't want to buy new ones. Also, don't understand most of what's in here. If I want to know about like bee trees, this is the shit, right? This is when you refer to these kinds of books. Yeah, that's my problem generally with this kind of stuff is it's the same thing with tutorials. Tutorials and textbooks, I have the same thing where it's like I can't just read them. Like I can't just or go through them if I don't have a reason to. Like I'm really bad at that. I need like for tutorials, I need to be like there's a specific thing I need to learn how to do and I have a specific thing in mind for why I'm doing it. Same thing with me with textbooks. Like I like referencing them if I'm like I need to know exactly how to do like an efficient I don't know, breadth first search or something like that, or whatever. Or like I need to do like an in place manipulation of something, like I don't know. Like something weird that obviously there's some academic study over and there's probably an efficient, understood, correct way to do it. That's when I turn to these things. Otherwise, like, I don't know why. I've never been able to just go through that stuff just to like learn. Just to like learn it by itself. So that's part of the reason why I never really did a lot of school. I was not able to absorb knowledge for knowledge's sake. It didn't work out for me. I have to be more careful about copying this stuff over now. Getting a lot of trash here. Oh, that's not the right way. That one. That one. This one. You have to take notes or else you don't retain stuff. Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm really just a learn by doing person, which means I spend a lot of time working very inefficiently. Which is fine because I have chat to tell me when my workflows are just the worst. They let me know. They're like, why are you doing it this way? This is like the worst possible way to do it. And that's how I know.
Maximum warp.
Maximum warp, no jewel. How's it going? I saw your really creepy I like bubble trail shader thing that was like eyeballs. That was horrifying. Quite good, but also horrifying. Let me see if I can grab it. You're on here somewhere. This thing. This is deeply horrifying. Well, experience is a dangerous teacher. The stuff you learn does tend to stick with you, but you can learn bad things. You definitely learn terrible things, which is at least why if you have directed learnings. This is, oh, that's horrible. So creepy. So creepy, no Joel. Really awesome, though. You got some dislikes on that. Well, engagement is engagement, and engagement is good. So don't be too broken up by that. Because yeah, it's horrifying, but it's also very cool. Oh, is this wrong? Yeah, this is wrong. I got to go back a couple frames and fix that. Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think that shader is very cool. Okay, I only made the mistake here. All right, over. Here we go. Oh, oops. Forgot about the arrow. Go. Thick doors, you remember? Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of tired and not really feeling like doing some big programming tasks today. So we're doing the triple door, which we actually haven't ever implemented in this game before. So we're just doing the thick version of the triple door, and then maybe we'll plug it in today or tomorrow. Probably tomorrow, because once I'm done with this, I also need to carve it up into 3 pieces. It can't just be 2 pieces like the double door. Even though I'm drawing it as 2 pieces, I then need to split it up into 3 pieces. So that's not great, but we'll do it. We'll figure it out. I can at least just cut and paste for now. Doesn't have to be like perfect. We're only going to deal with the proxy tiles. We're not actually dealing with the scene collection versions of it, thankfully. We will need to do that eventually. How's everything going? What have you been working on besides horrifying us with those eyeballs? All right. Here's another frame done. Any mistakes? No obvious mistakes. I like the bigger doors because the animation just feels better because they take longer to open. I don't know what the utility of having bigger doors is going to be, honestly. We're going to have to think about that. I was thinking about like maybe you need repair parts sometimes and you need to bring them up from the cargo, and maybe certain systems need repair parts or components of a certain size. So like if you don't have a double door, you like can't get the thing you need through. I don't know. I'm actually not sure. It might be purely aesthetic. No, Joel, you're currently finishing up level 1 of your platformer and hopefully letting some friends playtest it with level 2 on the weekend. Hell yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. We're going in the opposite direction. I was talking about it earlier because like GDC is like 1 month away, and I'm not gonna have any gameplay stuff to show people. I'm like, the best I could do is really make the tile editor here like the best it can be. Make it like really impressive as a tool. And then maybe make some things in the tool to show off. I was like, we're not gonna have time to do that and gameplay stuff. But I do wish we were working on gameplay stuff instead. That's great. I hope you have a great playtest. All right, so the next frame is where things get interesting. Because we're going to start peeling away parts of this door now, like the back part, the back side of this door. All right, so this part we don't move. This part we don't move. Actually, maybe this part we do move. Part we don't move. Yeah, I think this is it. Over by 1, down by 1. Okay, so now, but then now what we have to do, we have to bring this chunk here down to like this and color this part in. Although, hold on a second. Yeah, no, that's right. It'd be like this. Oh, load the photon torpedoes. Got another fanbot to blast out of the water here. Fire. Why was it like this? Oh, because it's like that. Hold on, I did this wrong. I did this incorrectly. Shoot. Let me compare it to this one. Why does it behave like this? Why did I set it up like this? It's consistent, but why is it like this? Oh, I see a mistake. Okay, so it's like this, and then we go like that. This feels not consistent with the way I'm doing this elsewhere, but also I think it's fine. I think it looks better this way than doing it another way. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it like this. No, Jewel, you read through some of the bureaucracy regarding donations through platforms like Ko-Fi in Germany. You found out there is no realistic way to do it by the book. It sounds distinctly German that they would have issues with that. That it would be incredibly complicated to do it by the book. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how you do that here. I haven't had to deal with it really. Because it's not really a donation, is it? Like, it's a donation from their standpoint, but from your standpoint, it's kind of like just income. So I don't know. I am not an accountant. I'm not going to weigh in on that at all. But I do feel like I am going to need a proper accountant soon to deal with some of this stuff. Even though I haven't made a single cent through Ko-Fi. I do have Twitch income now, and I need to do something about that. This is weird. Hold on. Where is it? Down. Oh, it's down by 2 because this is for some reason doing that. That's not right. But I prefer it, so we're going to keep doing it. The rule of cool is going to win. We're doing something here with this animation that I think is inconsistent with how I understand the rules that I've set, but it looks better, so we're just going to do it. And we've done it everywhere else, so that's the thing that I've been needing to be able to draw. I've been needing to establish very clear rules in my mind about how this stuff works, about how this perspective is supposed to work. Sometimes the rule meets reality, and reality wins every time. No rule trumps the rule of cool. Oh, I'm doing this here again, aren't I? I need to do, this is also a vertical move. Oof, okay. The solution here is basically you just pay too much taxes and no one will complain. Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works for, you know, normal people? Whereas rich people just do the opposite. They just don't pay taxes and they usually get away with it. Hey, Fusionist. How's it going? Happy Wednesday. How are you doing? All right, so this we're carving out here, 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 here. Oh, not there. Here. We're doing some easy stuff today. We're doing just doing some animating. Trying to just take it easy here as we get back into it. I had to skip yesterday. Getting back into the swing of things here. Okay, we've just now converged on the door frame for the upper side. That's good to know. No, Joel, the door builds up some force and the initial inertia is so high, it jumps up some more pixels at the beginning. There you go. It all makes sense again. Yeah, that's all I need. All I need is a little rough justification there. I feel like I'm fighting my green screen today. There we go. Fusionist, doing good. What's on the menu today? Animating. Gotcha. Question asked and answered in a single line of chat. Fusionist, are you doing asset tests next, or is it just for a breather? Well, we have the double and the single doors in. We at least have these versions of it, the regular, quote unquote, regular versions of it. There's also flipped versions of it, which I gotta do, which I may or may not do on stream. Enjoy the lurk. Still needs work. And I kind of just I want to add in the triple door, which we were just talking about. Like, I can't think of a reason why someone would want to put a triple door somewhere. So I feel like, but that's fine because the ship designs are going to be made by me. And so it's almost like a challenge. Because like the triple doors are big and slow. So opening or closing a triple door is like a major decision. Triple door, triple cheese. Yeah. I want a triple shot, triple door. Maybe for cargo. Yeah, I want some even bigger doors for something like that too. For like exterior doors. I want like maybe a 3 by like 2 or something like that. But someone did point out that we need to account for the floor size when we do that. So that's going to be really complicated and I don't want to think about that right now. So yeah, it'll probably be for like engineering. Like maybe the reactor room or something will have this enormous door in it, or like the cargo bay. Yeah, it's probably going to be like that, like major systems. Or I've decided that I'd like hallways. Most hallways I would like to be 4 tiles wide because otherwise they look weird. So hallways will probably have double doors. Because if they're 4 tiles wide, the boundaries between them will probably be double doors or something like that. Because a hallway that's less than 4 tiles wide just kind of looks weird when you're looking at it because you basically can't see. It's just 2 walls that are like smashed together and you can't see it. But at least if it's 4 tiles apart, the 2 walls, then you can at least see that there's a hallway there. Make them like the System Shock 1 cargo doors. Diginanigans, triple door feels like it could be some sort of bay door. That is also a possibility. That is also like, we're talking about like shuttle bay doors, cargo bay doors. Yeah, for sure. We're probably going to have some flat doors eventually, like hatches. Probably going to need to make some of those so that we can seal off like vertical passageways. Probably make some of those eventually. But let's focus on what we got on the menu right now, which is triple door. Looks fine. I don't see any more errors. I know I'm going to find one as soon as I stop looking. Yeah, what is the... Yeah, I'm not happy with the way I've got this set up here on the side. But it's such a small thing, and I think it's fine. I think we decide not to care about that for now. If it becomes a problem later, we can go back and make some changes to this. that's fine. Not this though. Oop. Oh wait, what just happened? Oh, that's the door frame. Hide that. Fusionist, do I reckon that this is the sort of asset that will be remade 10 times? I really hope not, because this is like the second version of it. We have this old version of it. It's like the thin version. Well, we have the thin version. Then we also have the thin version that's got the loose outlines. Because part of the other reason why well, no. We've thickened the door. That's the current reason why we're remaking this. But we also have the loose outline where where the outline just comes with, which we decided was like, I think this is not the way I had it originally. And like we don't like the vertical movement jitter, the every fourth frame stutter that is like moving up and down. So we've decided to replace that with the fixed outline version. So that's one remake. That's one redo. And then now we're redoing it again because we wait, I mixed these. Wait, how is this the fixed outline one? Oh. Wait, what's happening right now? Oh, I never finished making the fixed version of the triple door. Oops. The lower one isn't done. That's unfortunate. Well, I'm glad I've skipped this and I'm working on a different version. So yeah, we're on our third version of this. Fusionist, what if it were sub-pixeled? That might do something about it. But that would be a very different game. If I drew everything sub-pixeled, like, I think that's interesting, but it's fine if we just do this version. We found that if you just lock the exterior outlines, you don't notice it as much. Like it's mostly fine. It's something about the motion of the exterior outlines really messes with you. It gives it makes it way more noticeable, the stutter. And then when you do it this way, the stutter is like manageable in my mind. 'Cause yeah, I think that would be uncanny if we like, you're suggesting that we basically like blew this up and then did the motion in such a way that it like looked smooth by using way more pixels than is like drawn here. Interesting idea. Oh shoot, I just got a shout out from Mad Chirby. We might have something might be happening soon. Half joke suggestion. It's also more work and all. Yeah, I mean it's a good idea. I think if we had a different aesthetic, if we weren't so hardcore into such a low resolution, our pixel resolution is so low that I think some of this we just can't get around. Some of this chonky pixel stuff. You think this fix is sufficient? Yeah, I hope it's sufficient. Subpixeling in this case refers more to anti-aliasing the movement. Yeah, I think I kind of see how you would do that, but yeah, okay, so you could also do it with anti-aliasing. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not so it is frustrating when you end up having to redraw these some number of times, but then I'm reassured by the fact that like Stardew Valley had like all of its art redone like 4 times. Like, it's kind of just, I think it's kind of par for the course, especially when you're learning. Because this is also my first major undertaking. I'm not going to say major. This is also my first pixel art undertaking. Like, I have not done pixel art before this game. So I think to an extent, I'm just going to be learning. Oh, we actually want to get rid of, oops, dang it. Move this back. Actually want to undo this. Oh, I foresaw. Red alert. Battle stations. Prepare to repel borders.
Maximum
We've
walk.
got a mad chirpy cloaking off the port bow here. Oh, with a full box in tow. Hidden ruse. Idan ruse. Thank you for the follow. How is it going? How's it going, Mad Chirpy? I saw you playing Block Shop. Block Shop. Steam. Let me get the Steam link here. Shout out to Mad Chirpy. Also, shout out to Fullbox and the Block Shop, which is available on Steam. Newly released. Here's a link in the chat. Throw that in on the YouTube side too. Incredible. Just released Monday. Amazing. Indeed, you enjoyed it. Fullbox has done a great job. Yeah, Fullbox did a great job. The Trevron's music is amazing. This is great. One of the gems of Quebec, no doubt. Welcome in, Raiders. This is Digital Iliad. We are working on like an FTL. If you're familiar with FTL, Faster Than Light, we're working on an FTL-like game. We're doing a kind of an isometric 3D take on it. This is like a solo dev project. Thank you for the chirpy raid. Hillfort Games, thank you for the follow. I love your stream. I lurk in your stream. Welcome to the indie game developers team too. I think I spotted you in there recently. Yeah, I really enjoy what you're working on. You're the 2 point, what do you call it? 2.75D stuff is inspiring to me because I'm doing like kind of the opposite. I'm doing isometric 3D, but it's like very faked. I'll show you a little bit of it. So the point of what we're trying to do is we're making these like 3D ships eventually. So we're taking FTL Faster Than Light and we're like stacking decks. So you might have like the bridge and like maybe, I don't know, some other decks and then like engineering, like reactor core, cargo bay. So we're like adding verticality to FTL Faster Than Light. That's kind of part of the attempt of what we're doing here. The joke of the 2.75D. It's really cool the way you've set it up. Our version of it here is just tile maps. This is all made in tile maps. So like I can make like a layer here. We have an auto tiler doing all of this for us. And then I can go down a layer, carve out a room. And I can go down a layer again. Reposition a little bit. Carve out another room. Go down a layer again. This is like, it's kind of silly. It's a really rough tool, but this is kind of the direction we're heading in. This one, maybe I change my mind and I want this layer to be 2, so we can just cut this floor out. Now it's just a bigger room. Don't mind the coloration. We have a flood fill algorithm that's running in the on a background thread that's trying to figure out what's inside and what's outside. It kind of freaks out. It'll change its mind soon. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's gonna reach stability in a minute. Yeah, but we're faking the 3D entirely with tile maps. My flood fill algorithm's checking this entire area. It's checking this huge space here because I was trying to see what the maximum area is. So we need to make that a little more efficient, but here it is. So the mid-tone gray are tiles that are exposed to outer space. The dark tone gray are tiles that are like interior structures. So like the space between, like basically like the space between walls, you know? And then the light tone gray is stuff that's part of a compartment, like a pressurized compartment, so that we can eventually do like FTL style stuff of like oxygen management and like fire spreading throughout the system, things like that. We're working on our doors right now because we have a couple of rudimentary doors. We have single doors and we have double doors. But we're working on a triple door because our auto tiler works on the doors too, so it can tell like how many doors in a row there are. So we got the double door or the single door, but we don't have the triple door up, so we're working on that right now. That's kind of what I've been animating today. We can rotate our tile map too. Kind of fancy. Doesn't look like much, but we're getting that underlying tech working. That's what we're spending a lot of time on right now. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the feedback and the encouragement. And just hanging out, honestly. I know people have plenty else they could be doing. Appreciate. Fusionist, you shared a small example on the Discord. Won't spend the next hour pestering me about it. Oh, it looks sweet in the editor? Thanks. Fusionist, what did you share? You shared something about the anti-aliasing? Oh, this is a sub-pixel animation you made a while ago. Can I zoom in on this? I can't. Right here. This looks really cool. What is it doing? Almost uses a stylistic means. You can see how black pixels smear into darker grays as movement happens. Yeah, okay, so you're talking to me about doing this with like anti-aliasing. Oh, that's kind of cool. I should think about doing something like that. I know it's hard to tell with my dark mode background. Here it is. Okay, I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about here. Very nice. This is really cool. That one's over the top. Yeah, okay, yeah. Ooh, subpixels. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm going to study this and think about this. That's really cool. Meant to be an idle stance. A lot of people were seeing other things. Not your problem. No, I can tell it's an idle stance. There's definitely a lot going on. But yeah, I gotta understand how to do that better. This is my first undertaking on pixel art. Or if I'm being honest, any kind of art. I'm really not an artist. This is all programmer art we got here. So I'm learning as I go. But yeah, we have some stuff happening because we're at such a low resolution. There's some jittery, what feels kind of jittery when we animate things like the door. So we've been thinking about ways of tackling it. Nice, no Joel. But yeah, we've already done the single door and the double door. I've added a bit of lighting to the single door. I'm pretty happy with. I'm not thrilled that we're probably going to be doing like statically. We're going to probably doing the lighting by hand for stuff like this, but I don't see a way around it really. Got our double door in. I'm not as happy, not as thrilled about the shadow here. Very subtle, maybe too subtle. Yeah, we're a little concerned about the hitching because it's 4 over 1 up. So you can, if you watch the arrow, you can really see the 4 over 1 up that's happening. And I think it's okay. I think it's manageable, especially at the scale it's going to be at, which is like this size. I don't think there's a way around it really at this resolution. But yeah, Fusionist was suggesting maybe some anti-aliasing. Something else. Another cool trick to know, a nice excuse to multiply your scope. Yeah, that's all I need. All I need is an excuse. I am here and I am ready to multiply my scope. The mock-up art you made is really cozy though. Looking forward to the game, reaching that level visually. Oh, you mean like this? my style guide, my vibe guide. Yeah, we're very pleased with this. I think later this week we're gonna redo this with some of our new palettes that we picked up on Friday. But yeah, I'm excited to see it in this at this level of execution, where we've got computer consoles, we've got chairs, we've got little dudes running around. Very excited. Very excited to see the game at this state someday. Looks great zoomed out. You're good, I think. Well, if Hillfort Game says that I'm good, I'm gonna go with it and never think about that again. Trevron, you agree? Okay. I'm feeling good. Yeah, we picked up some new palettes on Friday, Fusionist. I'm excited to try them because this is my janky handmade palette that I made, my first palette, and it's cool. Can only do about 4 colors, but it's only got 4 ramps, is what I should say. Go for it. Just get that bloom and the noise in that you're 90% there. Yeah, exactly. I put some bloom and some noise in here, and yeah, it feels good. Yeah, you're right. I gotta get that post processing in ASAP. Did I settle on a palette yet, Trevron? No, we picked 2. We picked Zenit 142 or 241. What was it? Zenit 241 that we want to try. We want to try this one. And then we also are going to try what was the other one called? Low spec. Low spec. Was it dual? No, I don't think it was dual. I don't remember what the other one was called, but we have another one we want to try too, along with this one. Check my downloads. Oh no, it was dual, wasn't it? It is dual. Dual. Doom. Yeah, we also want to try this one, which is way more stable, it feels like, than Zenit. Someone else explained it to me correctly in terms of like tonal changes and hue shifts and things, but I want to try dual. It's a big 256 color palette, and I want to try Zenit, which is a 241 color palette. A little more exciting, I think. It feels like there's more hue shifting going on, whereas dual seems really stable. But I want to try both of them, so I think we'll do a recolor. I think we'll just do a recolor of this. Obviously, the version of this without all the post-processing. I think we'll do a recolor of this with the 2 and see kind of what's vibing better. I should consider turd 32. 32 doesn't feel like quite enough colors, Fusionist. Settling on a palette for such a large game seems scary. Yeah, I am scared. Mad Chirpy, you really like the palette you found for your game? Nice. Keep it close. Trevor, on the list was much larger. Yeah, we had a long list, and I narrowed it down to 2 that I want to try. A close third was the Sonic palette, but it was just like it. There were too many colors that were like FF0000. I was like, I don't need that. That would like burn my eyes out. Quite big palettes. Yeah. I think I need big palettes. This is a big game. They're gonna be aliens. They're gonna be ships. I know I could just like expand the palette indefinitely. Like this is my palette. It's okay. It's only got 4 ramps in it besides the gray. But I was like, I could keep working on this. It's only like what, 9 times 5? 45 colors or something like that. I didn't want to keep working on it. I just wanted to try some other palettes that people know, because like I'm not an artist. I don't know color theory. I don't know any of this shit. I just kind of wanted to try stuff. You got to be lurking? No worries. Thank you, Mad Chirpy. Thank you for the Chirpy raid. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out and hopping in. Trevron, Mad Chirpy, Fullbox, Iden Ruse, thank you for the follow. Hillfort Games, also, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Really enjoy your streams. Thank you all for hopping in and hanging out. If you got to lurk, if you got to go, If I bore you out of your minds, no worries. I just appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna keep working on this. This is a 27 frame animation, and we're on frame 15, so we're gonna buckle down and try to finish this. We also got ads, so if you can't hear me, don't worry about it. You're in ads. If you can hear me, congratulations, you made it through the ads. Or you made the good decision, which was to, subscribe. Or you have turbo, in which case that's also a reasonable call. Whew, got that. I got that raid energy. I'm like ready to rock here. Post raid energy. All right, so we got to start moving. We got to start shifting this down. I need to start paying attention to this part. So we're moving over and shifting this part down. Oh God, I keep doing this. We're going to actually forget this. We're going to only be doing this part. Carve it out like this. Diginanigans, or you're on YouTube. That is a good point. If you're on YouTube, the rate at which you get ads is between you and YouTube. I have no control over it. If you have YouTube Premium, that was also probably a good call. That's one of the subscription services I least think about getting rid of. Shouldn't it be like this? No, it is like this. Yeah, I don't love what I'm doing here, but with this part, I don't love what we're doing here. I think it looks good, but it's not. We talked about this. It's not based on the rules that I came up with, but the rules don't matter. Points are made up and the rules don't matter. All right, the ad is over. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're still here. Still here. We're still making mistakes. Catching the mistakes. Hopefully. We're animating. All right, that looks reasonable. Carve that out. Carve this out. Carve this out. Carve this out. Carve this in. Not a way people talk, but what I'm going to say. Drop this down. Oh, I made a mistake here, didn't I? So this should be moved down. Actually, this whole thing should be moved down. Like that. Is that right? Kind of. Still doesn't feel right, but that's what we're doing. Oh, wait. Oops. Went too far too fast. Delete this layer. This frame. Not the layer. I would never delete a whole layer. Certainly not on accident. Okay, we're gonna need to adjust something there. That's fine. Do that. Bloop. Then we just gotta delete this part. This back in here. Should be like this. That means I missed that here. Oh, now it needs to be this. All right, we're getting there. Shenanigans. 4K and no ad breaks. Woo! Oh yeah, I don't run ads on YouTube, do I? I don't. Or YouTube would run ads for me, don't they? Regardless of whether I can make money from them. I feel like they'll still run them, but yeah. No, YouTube is a nice place. I do enjoy that I have the VODs on YouTube in 4K. And I can live stream them. Multi-stream. People are constantly confused about the chat, though. They're like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, well, talking to my buddies on the other platform. They're like, why don't you show the chat from both platforms? I'm like, you know, funny story. I'm not allowed to. Even though other people definitely do it. But you know, I'm not going to say who because I'm not a narc. All right, move this over. And we move this down. We fill in here. Fusionist, you always figured streamers could get away with making up comments for entertainment's sake. Once the audience reaches a certain size. Yeah, that would be funny. Oh. I gotta move down. This is a move down frame. And a move over. Okay, that's fine. Can I just move everything down one? Will anybody notice if that's what I do? If I just do this. The loop. Anybody realize that that's what's happened? Doesn't seem like it. How's everyone doing? We got a whole bunch of new people in here. Anyone working on anything they'd like to share? Just talk about how their day's going, asking questions, anything. I'm kind of just chugging along. All right, so grab these 2 pixels here. So we're going over and up. Should be good. Vertical pixels are just, the vertical shifts are so much more work. So much more error prone. All right, over 1. Got like my own like stitch 1, purl 2 thing going on. Like over 4, up 1. Diginanigans, make it more confusing. Just refer to you as Digi and people will think you're just talking to your alter personality. That is not a bad idea because I've already done that a few times. Just calling you Digi. You're doing good. You're working on your Baldur's Gate 3 party planner a bit more. That's awesome. I think that's going to be so great. I only did like a D&D tool thing like that once where I made like a little Unity project where I could like load up Dungeons and Dragon maps and like slowly reveal the map grids. So it was like a little, instead of like having a physical map and having like multiple sheets of paper and like uncovering the map as we went, I just had like a grid system and I like overlaid that over like D&D maps and I could just uncover blocks and stuff and like go up and down levels and stuff. This is super nice. I would have made more tools for it, but I felt like I was getting dangerously close to just making a D&D tabletop program. Fusionist, who are you talking to? Good. You understood the assignment. All right, we're 2/3 of the way through. 2/3 of the way through. We got this. Someone's going to show up and explain to me how bad my workflow is. Like right when I'm finished. You're like, why are you doing it this way and not this way? I'd be like, well, I didn't think about that. Appreciate the feedback and fuck you. Waiting 2 hours to tell me. Shenanigans, very cool. The group you DM for, you play in person. but you're wanting to set up a digital overlay via projector so you can just load up maps instead of needing to create or draw physical things. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's pretty easy. I didn't even have Godot's tile map system. I had like this thing I made in Unity. If I had Godot's tile map system for that, I would be doing so many things. My D&D group does not really play anymore. It's sad. The in-person D&D group did not survive COVID. And yeah. We tried playing digitally for a while, but it just wasn't the same. We ended up doing other things. Like we got into Valheim, which was really great. We ended up just playing Valheim for like a year. That was fun. But I do miss it. I do miss D&D. Specifically in-person D&D. It's a special thing. But yeah, again, it's a slippery slope. Start coming up with little D&D tools, you're going to have a full-blown tabletop program before you know it. It's a little weird, this thing that I'm doing here. It's okay. Over by 1. Clean up this little nub down here. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I didn't move this part. Go. How did I miss that? Yeah, this is also breaking the rule, but it also follows the rule of cool here. Looks better to do that than to leave like a single pixel nub here. I don't like that. Why is this so fast? Here we go. Oh, I had it sped up somehow? Is that an option? Huh. Didn't realize Sprite had a fast forward button. Kind of incredible. Rhiannon Journey, when you're learning a new web framework, your go-to project is a simple D&D character sheet and initiative tracker. Smart. It's pretty good. Shenanigans. Yeah, whatever happens, happens. You enjoy building tools that make things easier. So if it turns into something bigger in scope, that's fine. That's the attitude of a developer. I don't know what I was expecting. You'd said anything else, we wouldn't be in this position in the first place. Oh, I think I made a mistakey. There we go. Easy. Makey a mistakey. Rhiannon, scope creep is only a negative when there are hard deadlines. That is a good point, and that is honestly the attitude that I take with this project because I have a day job. I got time. We make the right decisions with this game. We do what's right in the long term. In the short term, it means more work. That's fine. That's a very good point. Your name is tough sometimes. Diginanigans. You're essentially making a more niche version of Obsidian mixed with Loreforge to help build and organize TTRPG campaigns. Well, yeah, I mean, why start with Obsidian? Why not just remake? I get what you mean. You have a niche use case in mind. I do the same thing all the time. People will be like, well, why didn't you just use this tool that gets you 90% of the way there? And I'll be like, because of that last 10%. What are you going to do about the last 10%? Hell yeah, Digi. All right. Thank you, Rhiannon. For the cross-platform camaraderie. Wow, that's hard to say. Say that 3 times fast. Cross-platform camaraderie. All right. Okay. So this is a move over and then down. So that means I take this out, this out, this out, and this out. Well, I take this all out anyway. So over 1, down 1. All right. Got to clean that up. This goes down also 1, 2, 1. The way this kind of lurches, the way this door threshold goes down in this kind of lurching motion, I don't love. But that's fine. Consistent. All right, here we go. Over 1, up 1. Oh, I need to bring these along with me. Over 1, up 1. All right, we're so close. So close to being done with this. Didn't realize this would take a whole stream, but that's okay. Oh, I have the wrong tool equipped. I was like, what the hell is happening? Diginanigans, the alternative. which would have been starting with Obsidian, would mean building about a dozen custom plugins and trying to shoehorn them into how Obsidian works. Easier to just structure it how you want up front. Oh, no, I agree. I fully agree with you. I honestly don't know which approach is more akin to making a deal with the devil. Probably trying to like hack in your own solution to stuff. I mean, it kind of depends on what thing you're working with, right? Where it's like what's better, you know, building your own thing or like hacking stuff into something else. I think it depends on the something else heavily, right? Like Godot is open source, so if you want to change how Godot works, change how Godot works. I mean, yeah, is it something additional you have to maintain? Sure. Is that way more of a realistic solution than changing how Unity or Unreal source code works? Also, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a case by case thing that you figure out. Not that what you're talking about has anything to do with game dev per se. Just relating it back. I would also be scared if someone was like, well, you could just change the Godot source code. I'd be like, I don't wanna. Then I have to maintain my change based on as new versions come out. Who wants to do that? That's pretty cool. Sounds like a really great tool you're putting together. Man, we're really close here. We're just doing these last few little moves. Last few frames here. Oh, oops. Almost made a big oopsie. Caught it before too late. Will we do the lighting now, or we'll do the lighting next time? That's the real question, probably. Maybe we'll do it now. I started kind of late today, didn't I? I keep looking at my session time, and it's like way lower than I thought it would be. Maybe we'll do the lighting. We're almost done with the animating part. Getting the actual door movement. And then we just needed to do the shadow line as the door opens. I wonder what he did about that here. Oh, we moved the whole... Hold on. How did that not become a problem? This version. Oh, because this isn't a fixed outline. I never actually drew the fixed outline for the triple door. Okay, so I never ran into this problem. This is reasonable, though. All right, last frame here with vertical motion. That's nice for me. Over, down. Then this down 2. 1, 2. And then this one, same deal. Oh, wait. I think I messed something up on another frame. We're going to have to fix it in 2 frames now. Over 1, down 1. Oh, God. Yeah, this is wrong. There we go. All right, one more frame. Wait, how is that right? How is it only 26 frames? I thought the other one was 27. Oh no, the other one was also only 26. I thought it would be 27 because the first one's single is 9, double is 18, triple should be 27. That's weird. Whatever. I'm not complaining. I'll take a free frame. Basically stop whenever the arrow gets cut off. So maybe that has something to do with that. Probably just a different positioning. All right, that should be it. Let's watch that a few times. And then maybe do the lighting. Yeah, I don't like the way it lurches on the left side, but I think it's fine. Especially zoomed out. I don't think people are going to notice. No one's going to just sit and watch the door open. They'll be busy doing other things. And there might even be a wall in the way so you don't even see it. Like, it's actually going to be very unlikely that you're actually watching this part of the door frame. Oh, wait, there's another door frame to watch. There we go. Because this door retracts into another frame. And this frame retracts because there's no reason to render it if the door is just... Yeah, it's a little weird. But I think it's fine. The fixed frame thing is definitely helping. Definitely makes it more look like the door is retracting rather than being this huge thing that's just moving. Like here. Yeah, this is way more jarring. It does make it look like the door is like this big thing, whole thing that's moving. But the stuttering is way more noticeable there. Compared to here. All right, now let's look at how we did the lighting. Okay. Let's actually look at how we did the lighting here. Because this is where we get our rules from. So that, and then go over 2, and down 1, and over 2. All right. I think I remember how this works. Shenanigans, there would be a wall block in front of it, right? Don't think it'll be really noticeable. No, you would only notice it if the cutaway system is pruning that block. So if your cursor was like on the door tile, like if you had the left door tile here selected with your cursor, the wall in front of it would disappear. So yeah, it's very rare that you would see it, but it's potential that you would see it. So we need to draw it. But yeah, it's not going to be front and center. And it's certainly not going to be something anyone's paying attention to. All right, so this is where the where they're going to initially draw. And this is upper. Drawing onto the upper only. So this is it. So how do I do this? Do I do the same thing here? Oh. Well, I immediately see the problem here. See part of the reason why I don't like the shadows for the double door, but I'm not going to probably do anything about it right now. So at least this is like a very straight line door. So I don't really have to worry a lot about this. Be like that, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be like that then? Yeah, okay. It'll be like this. We're gonna do the shadow like this. Means there's really only gonna be a few frames of it. Actually, that doesn't make a ton of sense. I don't think I like this. Now we're at the point where, although let's actually see what we get when we do this one. So now, this is the tricky part when we go over and down. Now the shadow line jumps a bit. Let's see where it is. That was in shadow. That was in shadow. This will be lit. This would be lit. But now, and then this would be lit. But then this jumps down. Then this would be lit. So it would be like this. That doesn't seem right. Not actually jump down at all. But if it's this... Wait, why do these look identical? Okay, this isn't identical. I don't love this because it doesn't actually move here. Oh, I made a mistake again. Why? Okay, I really don't like this. Now it would basically be everything except... All right, yeah, I don't love this. I don't love this shadow that I drew. It looks okay. Actually, it looks okay when it's in motion. The shadow line that goes across the door as it opens. That's the hard thing about animating pixel art is you look at it piece by piece and it just looks wrong, and then you see it in motion and you're like, "Oh, maybe that's fine." Still don't think it's great, but it might be fine. I actually think it washes across the door like pretty well, pretty nicely. Maybe it should be more of a clear line that's like receding across. Like right now, it's just kind of a weird transition, and it's because of the first couple frames. Because of this first frame probably, these first two, frame 3 and frame 4. I think that creates a weird trick on your eye. I also don't love this frame where like the shadow barely moves. But I don't know. Follows the rules I set for the other doors and it looks okay, so maybe I don't care. Maybe we'll work on this a bit tomorrow. But I do got to wrap it up for today. So we're going to see how we're going to pay this forward here. See how we pay this raid forward. Oops, I heard myself there for a second. IRAD is on. That could be fun. IRAD, Otter. Fine is fine. Fern. Fine, Fern. See what IRAD's doing. Oh, IRAD's doing their tower defense. Oh, they're doing some cool stuff with their tile map system. Yeah, we're going to go to IRAD. We're going to go check out a really great Godot streamer. All right. I appreciate everyone hanging out today. I'm going to cue up the music. Once again, thank you to Mad Chirpy for the raid. Oh, my music service might be broken. Come on, Pretzel. There we go. Take care. Thanks to Shenanigans. Oh man, Pretzel's having a hard time. The music's going to start playing as soon as the raid goes live. There we go. But yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out today. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. We'll be working more on finishing up this door. We're going to get this door in the game, I think. Set up the logic we need to get a triple door working. Maybe do one more pass on these shadows. But yeah. Appreciate everyone so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.